Welcome back to the Divested Zealot Response channel, and this is your host, the Alpha Black Lion Roar. In tonight's episode, we got more beautiful footage for you. Yours truly was able to sneak into the backstage room of the Divested Zealot show, and she was embarrassed. A caller called in and embarrassed her live on her show. He brought up the fact that last week, she called herself a bitch live on her show. That's right. She acknowledged that she was the piece of trash, the worst name that a woman can be called. She called herself a bitch. To all of you divestors who follow this bitch, she acknowledge that she is a bitch. So we are not wrong when we call her a bitch because she said it her own self. So what are we about to do right now? We're going to play this clip for you of the caller coming into her panel and exposing her and bringing up what she did last week.
Last week you called yourself a bitch.
Oh my God.
The fuck?
Last week you called yourself a bitch.
Oh my God.
The fuck?
I got stalkers, y'all. I finally
His
arrived.
ass is always here.
And you see how they had nothing to say about it because she was embarrassed. She got busted. The only thing she could say was, I got stalkers. And you can hear the other girls, the other bitches in the background. Why is he always here? They don't have anything to say about it because they know she got busted. And this is supposed to be their leader. She called, so to all of you divestors who subscribe to her, you follow a bitch, literally. She called herself a bitch. We got the video posted, the video before last that I did on my channel. You can go back and see it where she called herself the B word. So you follow a bitch. You can't name any black men in the manosphere who got up on their panel and called themselves out of their name. When have you seen a black man take the microphone and say, I'm a punk? I'm a punk. She called herself the equivalent of a man calling himself a punk. Have you ever seen a black man get on a microphone in a manosphere? Have you ever seen me call myself a punk? Have you ever seen me call myself the B word? But she called herself a bitch. She got on her panel, picked up the microphone, and she called herself a bitch. So that tells you that nothing that comes out of her mouth is worth anything, because nothing that a bitch says is worth anything. So she has destroyed her whole panel. She has destroyed all of her validity because she called herself a bitch. Imagine if someone was running for the presidential office and they called themselves a bitch. Who would vote for them? Because they made themselves invalid once they called themselves a bitch. So she has hands down destroyed her movement because she is a bitch. So why should anyone listen to you, bitch? Answer that question for us, Divested Zealot. Why should anyone listen to a bitch? We'll give you 5 seconds to answer. 4, 3, 2, 1. Silence, crickets. In the comment section, all of you divestors, all of you swirlers, all of you Jezebels, leave in the comment section why any bitch should be taken serious. Why should any of her words be taken serious when she is a self-proclaimed bitch? And what does her husband feel about this? What does her white husband feel about this? How would he feel to know that his wife is all over the world putting herself out there, calling herself a bitch? Would she call herself a bitch before his white friends? Before his white family? Before her white in-laws? Do she call herself a bitch before them? Well, obviously she does. Because what if her husband hears this? What if her white in-laws hear this? What would they feel about her? She's a bitch. She's telling everyone that she's a bitch. This woman has no respect for herself. She's a trash woman. And that's why we call her a Jezebel. She's talking about that she's divested from black culture, but she's talking like a trash ghetto woman. The only women I heard calling themselves bitches are ghetto trash women. So she's not divested in anything from anything. If anything, she took herself, calling herself a bitch, to the white community because she's married to a white man. So what do you all have to say about that? Leave your comments below to the divestors. If you want to refute me, try to do it in the comment section. Tell me what y'all think about this to the manosphere. We got her with this one. We got you busted, divested zealot, the bitch. You the self-proclaimed bitch. And this is the Alpha Black Lion roar sounding out. Fire burn them.